So here it is, the long-awaited Lexus 3-row SUV. This is the 2024 Lexus TX350, and it exists thanks to the introduction of the Toyota Grand Highlander. But just because it shares the chassis with the Grand Highlander, don't go thinking this is just an expensive version of the Grand Highlander. The Lexus TX350 features a variety of its own special changes that makes it a unique, different vehicle from the Grand Highlander, starting with the fact that the TX is actually several inches longer, which translates to improved interior quality and room that exists as well. On top of that, it features more sound deadening from top to bottom, making this a quieter ride when you're on the inside, and it features improved ride control and even body and quality adjustments to make this just a better vehicle, not to mention all the various technology changes and even the standard technology that comes in the Lexus TX350. Now, the TX starts at $55,000. This one, as equipped, is a luxury model and is just under $67,000. All in all, I think it's a pretty good looking SUV. Obviously, the cosmetics are quite a bit different and will also vary depending on what trim level you go with, but I think it's a fairly stout, good looking vehicle that checks the luxury off-road SUV boxes as well by being a bit boxy. Now, it's not really set up to go off-road, but it looks like it could. Now, starting at the front here, we have this new Lexus styling grille that I think looks quite good. Obviously, lots of various sensors. We do have LED lighting, which blends nicely into this silver chrome piece. We also have LED fog lights, LED tail lights in the back as well. As we move around to the side of the vehicle, we actually have these luxury 20-inch wheels as well, with full four-wheel power disc brakes, obviously power steering and all that as well. Nice styling, keyless entry, which uses electric door poppers. We do have our folding power mirrors here. We do have a little bit of a roof rack, including a little bit of a sunroof here as well. The rear windows are tinted for privacy, and you do feature sunshades that I'll show you in the interior. We do have a squared fitment with 20-inch wheels in the rear. Then we have color keyed spoiler with a power lift hatch. This also has the kick door options as well, so we can actually take our key, go ahead and pop the hatch as well, so we can take a look at what's going on the inside of the TX350. You can see here we have the third row already up, and we have a decent amount of cargo space with the seats up, but more importantly, the power lowering functions in here, and I'll talk more about that as we move on to the interior. So we can go ahead and drop that there. And the other thing I should mention is actually going to be the general capabilities of the exterior as well. Now, just looking at it, it does have a 5,000 pound towing capacity, and if we take a look below, you do have to add some equipment. You'll see that it's not currently equipped to tow, but that's a quick look at the exterior. Okay, so let's go ahead and move on to the interior. So we'll use our electric door poppers to get inside, and we can see we have our very luxurious Lexus TX350 interior, which has this nice ultra suede and perforated seats in the front. And if we go ahead and take a look back, we can see that this particular vehicle has seating for 6. So that's one of the sacrifices you make by opting for captain's chairs, although you can get up to seating for 7 with the TX line. If you want seating for 8, you'll have to look at the Grand Highlander. Now, moving on to some of the features, let's go ahead and get all the way in here. We can see there's a surprising lack of buttons. Generally, it's more of a Toyota Lexus trait to include lots of physical buttons, but in this case, they've opted to go for the touchscreen approach. And this particular car also features the technology package, which is going to update things and make it feel a little bit more futuristic. So that includes things like our digital rear view mirror, but if you don't like that, you can also use it as a standard rear view mirror. But I like the digital. Helps if you have people in the third row that you can't really see over. You can see how the headrest might block a little bit. Now, moving into the particular technology, let's talk about the seats for a sec as well. Now, these particular seats, which, like I mentioned, ultra suede perforated, are absolutely heated and ventilated power seats in the front with 4-way lumbar control for the driver, but they also get these nice little pads that you can extend as well, which is a nice luxurious feature. The cool part is this car also has the optional heated and ventilated second row seats, so you get quite a bit of luxury in those captain's chairs, and you also get multi-zone climate control, meaning the driver gets their own settings, passenger gets their own settings, and the second row gets their own settings, which can be adjusted here on the back of the center console. The third row does get vents, but they don't get anywhere near the adjustment that you get in the rest of the seats. Now, speaking of the third row, if we go into our massive 14-inch display here, we can actually adjust some of the car settings, which we have our drive modes, but what we want are the seat controls. Now, you can either select one or both, and you can fold them from the rear. This has power folding third row seats, which is an incredibly useful feature if you might have left them up and need somebody to load something into the back. You can do that. Don't worry about that popping. That's what they do. Nothing's breaking back there. But a super helpful feature, I think. You can also actually raise them if you wanted to, so we could raise them back up as well. And it's a neat feature that goes a long ways but isn't necessarily required. It's also accessible from the back, like I showed you earlier. Now, moving into the technology, we obviously have digital screens in front of the driver and for our main center display, which are slightly angled towards the driver. We do get wireless CarPlay and Android Auto that are run through a Mark Levinson sound system in this car, which any Lexus you buy, you should always get the Mark Levinson sound system. It's incredible. Now, it is, of course, adjustable as well, and it has our various leather heated steering wheel controls as well with some of our various climate, but we also get access to our various drive modes, Sport, which is going to hold out the revs and make it feel a little bit sportier in terms of the way it shifts and things like that. Then Eco Mode, which is going to limit your acceleration to improve fuel economy. We also get all sorts of information like our all-wheel drive diagnostics that'll show us when it's using the rear wheels. This is going to be mostly primarily front-wheel drive with kicking in the all-wheel drive when it needs it. And of course, our various maps and navigation systems. I just love the Toyota system and Lexus system that they use for these cars. I think it's one of the better ones available on the market. We don't have much in the way of physical buttons here. We do have camera controls. We do have the parking assist controls, which are nice. We do have the USB wireless charger here, which in a moment's notice can be turned into a secret spot if you need it. We do have these removable cup holders that are actually in the rear as well. They're kind of funky. I'm not sure what the benefit of this is. You can use the storage space, I suppose, but what do you do with this block? A little funky, but in there nonetheless. Let's go ahead and click that into place, whatever. Okay, here we have the shifter in the middle. This is for our 8-speed automatic transmission. It does look just like the ones you'll find in the CVT models as well. We do have our various off-road controls, including hill descent control, off-road modes, traction control, and even the auto start stop options here as well. But the nice thing about the center console is it opens one side, so if somebody wants to use it for their armrest, you don't have to worry about that. And as we look at the front of the driver here, we do have our digital informational display, which can be adjusted to the driver's preference. And on this car, even includes a heads-up display, which is a nice feature. We have physical buttons on the wheel, which makes it easier and safer to use while driving. And of course, memory settings, locking gas cap, and you can even raise the hatch. So lots of nice quality features, and this is fairly nice. It's going to be similar to what you'll find in a lot of other Lexus models as well, and it's a good usable experience that is fairly simple to accompany all of the other fantastic changes in the TX350. Now, another way that the Lexus differentiates itself from its Toyota counterparts is in the powertrain department. Now, the Lexus TX350 is available with a variety of 4-cylinder options. You do have a plug-in hybrid model, which is exclusive to the Lexus TX, and then you have a standard hybrid model and a turbocharged 4-cylinder, which are also available in the Grand Highlander. Where it differs is that this Lexus, which has the turbocharged 2.4-liter 4-cylinder, actually has a higher state of tune than if you were to get this engine in the Highlander. This one is good for 275 horsepower and 317 pound-feet of torque, and it's paired with an 8-speed automatic transmission. So yes, you heard me, this has a real automatic transmission. There is no eCVT or anything like that, so that is a huge value adder for me in terms of the overall Lexus vehicle. Now, on top of that, this thing weighs around 4,500 pounds minimum. It'll vary depending on what trims you go with, but this thing will do 0 to 16 in the mid 7-second range, which is fairly solid, faster than a lot of the economy vehicles. It's not a hot rod by any means, but more than enough to get you going. And it has a different drivetrain options as well, with standard being front-wheel drive and this vehicle being equipped with the all-wheel drive model. So a couple different options. It depends on where you live, maybe what options you go with, etc. So very cool in terms of the overall availability. Now, moving on to the important stuff like fuel economy. And obviously this is a bigger, heavier vehicle, and so the fuel economy numbers aren't great, but they are better than a lot of the other 3-row SUVs. The Lexus TX350 with this turbocharged motor is rated for 20 miles per gallon city and 26 miles per gallon highway, with a combined rating of 23 miles per gallon. And given that this has a 17-gallon fuel tank, that means you'll get about 391 miles of combined range. But again, that'll vary somewhat based on what your driving habits are, but it's going to make it fine for getting between various cities with maybe one gas fill up or none, depending on how far you're going. But it is better than most other vehicles, which gives it a genuinely interesting option in terms of checking out the range and the usability of the Lexus TX350. So what's it like to drive the Lexus TX350? Well, there's definitely some noticeable ride quality improvements, and we'll hop on the freeway here in a sec so you can also hear just how quiet this vehicle is inside on the freeway as well, with very minimal wind or even road noise for that matter. Go ahead and pull back here. The other thing that's nice is with the heads-up display, it'll actually show you the speed limits as well. So if you're in an area that you're unfamiliar with, it'll show you the speed limit. So that helps to make sure you don't get pulled over for anything too crazy, because this is not the fastest vehicle in the world, but it is still fairly quick. You can see with some get up and go there. Gets a little bit louder, but it'll accelerate pretty good. The overall visibility of everything is pretty good. The A-pillars feel fairly narrow in the sense that they're not too obstructive. I do like the digital rear view mirror because it lets me see past everything, so it doesn't make the vehicle feel quite so big. As far as the drivability standpoint, it's really easy to use. It's a very nice vehicle that doesn't feel big or oversized in any sense of the word, which makes it more practical. I would say it feels nimble almost is a good way of describing it. The steering's not stiff, but it doesn't feel over boosted either. It's generally a good interactive experience, and everything being directed towards the driver makes it that much easier to either mess with your various settings at a stop if you need to and control the various drive modes at the touch of a button. The drive modes being behind the touchscreen's a little bit funky because that would make it harder to access while you're driving. You might have to wait till you come to a stop at a light, but it's in there nonetheless, and it's available if you wanted it. But let's be honest, this Lexus SUV isn't really meant to be a sporting vehicle anyways, and it is going to reset from sport modes and things like that if you shut it off. But all in all, it's a great and very easy to use vehicle that I think you would be very pleased with if you decided to purchase this vehicle. All right, so there you have it, a quick look at the Lexus TX350. So in conclusion, the TX series is its own line of vehicles. It's not to be confused as an up-badge version of the Toyota Grand Highlander. I think it features plenty to offer. It's certainly a great vehicle to interact with that feels more special than just standard SUVs, but most importantly at that price point with a starting price of $55,000. Not that you'll find them for $55,000. They'll obviously be a little bit more depending on what trim level they are and what's been equipped on the dealer lot, but I think you do get a lot for your money. And there's a lot of very interesting technology packages, like this luxury model with the heated and ventilated second row captain's chairs. Makes it for a really interesting example that you could comfortably feature adults in for either long road trips or even just if you have older kids. Whatever the case is, there's a lot more practicality for fitting adults in this vehicle and making it a very practical three-row SUV. So whatever the use case is, if you want the Lexus three-row model, I think this is a substantial improvement. It's super quiet on the inside and makes for a great alternative to the competition and even a better upgrade to the standard Toyota Grand Highlander. So that's what I think. The fuel economy is great too. It's just a great vehicle. I would strongly recommend you check it out if you're interested. Now with that, that is going to be the end of the video. So I do want to say thank you so much for watching that. If you enjoyed it, could hit that thumbs up button for me. I'd really appreciate it, and consider getting subscribed for future content like this. Now, are you interested in purchasing one, or have you purchased one? Let me know down below. And of course, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.